Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. And this week's lift is so cute. In fact, that's what Rebecca Meadows titled hers. I printed out both the original and Rebecca's lift. The main element of both of them are these strips of paper, and on the original they're very heavily distressed, and there's a zigzag stitch that they use to sew them down. And there's some food elements and plants along with the flowers. Rebecca just went with this gorgeous assortment of flowers, including some that are black and white. I'm not going to have those, but I may do something to mine to get that outline. I'm thinking about it. But in both cases, the paper strips are stitched. I'm actually not going to stitch mine. There's this little bird up here and a tag and some little enamel dots and some small tiny elements, and then these word elements. I don't think I'm going to use all of that there, although I do have some supplies that I could do something like that. My photo is about, it's just a photo that James took when he and I and Katie went out for Sunday brunch at his favorite restaurant in downtown Alpharetta called Main Street Kitchen. And what he, there's some unusual menu items on there, including an iron skillet pancake, and it's called a pancake, but it's actually kind of a skillet cake. They serve the skillet, and it's filled with this pancake, and it's sweetened with a really kind of heavy-duty sorghum or molasses, or it might be blackstrap molasses. Very rich and richer in taste than it is sweet, actually. But anyway, it's amazing. And a variety of dishes. Anyway, enough about the food. I must be hungry, and I just had breakfast. One of the things I'm going to use to lay out is fun times in the city, and there's a skyline there. This is a piece of ephemera from Vicki Boutin collection a couple collections ago, and I like the colors in it, even though it's on a kind of a cream or beige background. And I usually use white, and I like the colors against the crisp white in both of the example layouts. But because of that cream, I went and found a sheet of cardstock that is that I possibly might have looked at and said, I'll never use that, because it is cream or beige, and I'm not a cream or beige kind of person. But the cardstock stack that I discovered in my stash, this stack of cardstock brights have a white core, which means when you tear or distress them, the white in between the two layers of color actually shows through. And I thought that white might show up nicely against the cream, as will all of these colorful flowers. And so I think it's going to have a different look from what I might usually do, but I think I'm gonna like it. So we'll see. Let me put that aside. This is a cardstock stack from Die Cuts with a View, and it's textured, and there are two different textures, different texture on each side, and it's got a nice array of colors, and I must have picked it up off a giveaway table at a retreat, and then kind of stuck it in my storage spot, and then never went back and to use it. So I'm also using a lot from Paige Evans' Wonders collection and Go the Scenic Route. These, I'm not sure if I'll use any of these. I may use some of those strips if I decide to go with the words on this. That's why I have that there. And I got this little notebook that I thought was kind of cute as a backdrop for this ticket. And the tickets are definitely from Go the Scenic Route. The florals are from Wonders. And then I'm also using, I have these from Wonders, and I think I may use this one because I've got a die cut a bunch of leaf sprigs from a mint colored cardstock from that stack. And it's not one of the colors I'm using in my stack of strips here. And this may be a little bit too bright a red to go with that, and I don't use that purple at all. That might be too bright a yellow, and I don't use navy blue. Well, I'm going to use it in some things. Anyway, I just think I'm going to like that one better because I want to bring out that. Many of those sprigs were cut with this new die, and it stays all together, and then it cuts those. It's not separate little sprig dies, which makes it easier actually to cut. And this is from Cottage Cuts, and I just got that in a batch of supplies that I bought with a gift card that was given to me by by Cheryl, one of my very generous viewers, to congratulate me for my 1,000 subbies. And it's part of my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. And let's see what else. There are a couple other things that might be from that kit. But I went to match the colors. I pulled florals. And before, like off camera, I did this distressing all around all four edges, and I put some foam behind and kind of bent up my strips a little bit just to kind of get them so that there's some real texture there. I also went through and distressed the edges on some of the leaves and the florals just a little bit to kind of rough them up so they don't look all smooth and shiny. And that's something I wanted to mention to you. The floral ephemera in the Wonders collection has a shiny finish. And I'm not a fan of that. Are you? I like ephemera that's like cardstock, like these tickets, or without the shiny surface. I don't necessarily like shiny. I like to add sparkle and shine where I want it, but I like my ephemera not to be really reflective when I take a photo. That's one thing, but it's just, there's a texture to it that isn't necessarily what I go for when I scrap. So enough said about that. Let's arrange these guys and get them down. I thought I'd just go ahead and put them in what you might call rainbow order. and I think that's a good placement. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to kind of just eyeball it and get the next one to it. It's going to determine the spacing. I want a little bit of the background to show. I don't want them to be totally separate, but a little bit. What happened there? Okay. Adhesive didn't come out. Okay, and so kind of bending it over kind of helps with that, helps reveal a little bit of that. There. Come on. Okay, and then I'm not quite sure what side of this I want to put my photo on, whether I want it here or here, because I think I may put it more towards the center to leave room for this, and I'll put this at the same angle as that and overlap it that way. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get this last. Yeah. And I scrap just like that, whether there's a camera or not. I get started on a task and I skip to another one. Story of my life, in school, at home, as a kid, as an adult. Okay, so let's do that, and then I'll kind of do the flowers. Okay. And I'm going to let this be my title. So we'll see how that works. Now I've got this. This is part of the same card. There was a middle section, and I just thought I would overlay them like this, and I think I'm going to put some foam behind this one. Let me get this one set up there. And then I may overlap. I think I will put a date there, and I honestly can't tell you right now what the date was. But I can look that up. Now this red color there is different from any other color in the strip, and that's okay because these are different, and I'm going to be introducing yet a few more different things. Let me put this guy there. I even distressed around the white edges of the bird, although I like how the white contrasts and the bird kind of pops there. Okay, so now well, actually I want the red, the colors arranged apart from where the similar color is, because they're not exact matches. I'm gonna do that. Let that whole flower show. And see, the red is up here, so I wanted the red flower down there. The blues are down here, so I may do this one up here. And I want a piece of foam behind it. Okay, that's good. There's the pink is kind of up there. I'm gonna use this. So let me use half of it, and I'll put it flush with the cardstock and kind of angle the flower that way so that we can still see that red center. And I'm gonna kind of get all the flowers placed before adding in all these leaf sprigs, and the leaf sprigs are gonna kind of overlap the flowers. So I'm gonna put this one here, and I kind of want, I actually should put that one over that car, but I can maybe put some other things over the car. I'm gonna maybe put it right there. Okay, and I have one more flower. That's the one that could go there over the car, right? Why don't we do that? And I'll put a little bit of foam. And I've got a couple of these other pieces, and then I don't want to forget the other bit from here. Okay, so that's gonna go right there. And that allows me to layer some of those sprigs. Let's see where I want this. Here, I may want this just right there. And then I can do a pink flower kind of under there. Or do I want the yellow one? Let me kind of switch these up. The yellow, I think, would stand out down here. Okay, that works. Now the pink maybe can go right in under there. Okay, so I think that's all the flowers and my round elements, those are the larger elements. I'm going to do my idea, and the design actually kind of leaves this area open. So I'm gonna do that. This is not sticking. Okay. I thought I might do here. How about that? I love that those are blue leaves, and I'm going to do this green large sprig from the collection, the Wonders collection. I'm going to do it down here. And then I've got these leaves that can kind of let me put a tiny bit of foam underneath it to keep it lifted. It's one of those things where I maybe should have done that first. And what is the deal with my adhesive? This is a new roll of adhesive too, by the way. Well, okay, I should have done it and am gonna do it. Okay, that works. And then this one, I thought I might put under there. And I'll put my foam on ahead of time. Okay, one must put adhesive on both sides of the foam if one really wants the desired effect. Okay, now I'm going to take this, make a kind of a cluster, but I really don't want too much over on this side. Where might this cluster want to go? It maybe could go right here. That's the little chipboard, and then the ticket could kind of be like that, and then I could do a sprig. So I think I'm going to go with that. And I may layer the ticket over the leaf, and in that case I really want to distress the edges, which I didn't do. And this is what I did. I have a distressing tool, a Tim Holtz distressing tool, and I just grab my scissors sometimes and do this. Okay, now let's just start layering in these guys. And for this, I need my liquid glue, because what I like to do with these is put some glue down at the part that gets tucked under things at the stem. And then let the rest kind of angle up like that. That one is from a waffle flower die set, and this one is one of the designs in that cottage cuts set. I just pulled out all my leaf sprig dies. This one I think is from Bramble Fox. It was a single sprig that came in a collection with a few other shapes of dies. I want this one where it really shows, because that doesn't seem to want to stick there. Let me get it back where it was. Anyway, I wanted to show because I love the little curly cues that it has. And so I'm going to kind of faff around a bit with it. I'm going to go like this and let it kind of overlap this title card. Okay, I'm not going to be as picky about the others. Each one is different. And I think I wanted something to go up in here. I'll kind of do that way. Let's see what else I have. Here's another one with the curly cues. And I might do that one right there. I like that. So they're going to kind of go in and around all the other leafy and floral elements. And I love how those little curly cues kind of curl around. And it's a perfect match for that. And I'm going to say that cardstock's probably 12 years old. So it's good that the colors match a brand new collection. Okay. Just kind of do this. I wanted this mint to contrast against one of the navy blue leaves. And when I get done with this, I have some sparkly bits. That I'll add as accents and including sequins. I think that's about 1 million different colors of green, kind of in that container. And then I have these that came with the Wonders collection. So where else do we need? I only have 2 sprigs. I thought maybe I could do one. I might do this one there because you can see through it a little bit better. So this one maybe, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it here and let it be layered over that big pink flower. And then I'll do this one layered over the yellow flower, kind of coming behind the mint colored flower. There we go. Now the sprigs are sticking out all over the place, which is, what I wanted. Okay, so if you look at the original, she did a sprinkling of enamel dots, kind of, top and bottom of her big florally cluster. So I can put something down in here, maybe a little cluster that kind of goes around this heart. I may not need the green sequins. I'm going to kind of maybe do another here, a dark blue. These are just so cute. Why is that moving around so much? Okay, I've got it on foam, and there's dry adhesive, and there's also now wet glue. it must be being kind of propped up by this and not making good contact down there. So, by the way, I was going to mention that I picked two colors that I didn't use in this selection to matte the photo, and I went with the kind of maroon color because that kind of picks up the warm colors, and then the blue was meant to kind of echo the sky there that's behind the building. So I've got that, and then I thought I'd do another one maybe partly on this red. And so for what I'm going to put on the red, I could either do that dark navy blue. I think I'll do that. Put it there. And then I'll pick a little kind of peachy colored one to go here. And then another one up there. And for that one up there, don't want to go with blue. Let's go with this kind of turquoisey color. So there. And I may not need any sequins, but who doesn't want sequins on? Okay, there are these kind of minty green ones right here. They're sort of a satin finish, not real sparkly, and these elements are very sparkly, so I'm okay with that. And I'm going to put these sequins kind of close together, make my trio close over here. Okay, and that may be it for the sequins. I think I'll pour all these back in my mix. Okay, I think I'm done other than the journaling, and I'll do that off camera. I'm going to put a date and place probably right up here, and I may write a little something about Main Street Kitchen being James's favorite restaurant, and there's not a Sunday that goes by that he doesn't want to go there. Now, I thought about doing like sunshine here and happiness here. Why don't I do that? It doesn't give me a word strip on every one of these strips. And now I could actually use that as a title as well. Okay, I'm happy with that, and I like that they are somewhat hanging off the strip. I'm gonna actually exaggerate that. Okay, and then maybe some little guys over here. That would work. I think if I'm going to add that to this side, that I could use another trio of little elements here. That, and then I think I want to use something white that would show up on the here. We'll do it that way. And I'm gonna do my overlapping hearts there. And this guy I'm gonna move up over here. Okay, so it's done. Now it's done. And I hope you liked it. You know that I like all those bright colors. And I think it somewhat stays true to the design. Certainly the idea of the strips and then the kind of left heavy cluster, and then, you know, a few sparkly elements, a few different things. I didn't have any food elements that I particularly wanted to use, and the page was about being together more so than it was about the food. James might argue with that, but and I like the cream background, so I didn't know that I would, and I'm glad I did it because it does kind of explain, you know, it makes this Vicki Boutin very different collection, this piece of ephemera from there, that's very different from the Paige Evans that I'm using in general, but it kind of brings it into the mix, and I liked it. Okay, so here's a close-up. I think I'm gonna try to photograph it outside today because again, I'm using glossy photo paper, and I hate glossy photo paper, but I have it, and before I go buy some matte photo paper, I'm going to use up my glossy, and then I'll never ever buy it again because it's so hard to photograph layouts. I do like the way the colors show on this particularly. It's the super premium glossy, but I generally prefer the richness when I photograph things with bright saturated colors. The richness shows up much better on matte photo paper than it does on glossy. And the matte paper that I use is just Epson. I have an Epson printer. It's Epson Premium Presentation Matte, and I use double-sided because if I print something wrong or, you know, on one side, I can flip it over and not have to waste a sheet. So one-sided paper like this glossy, if you screw up, you pretty much have to toss it in the trash. So there we go. Happy Scrap Squad Sunday. I'll see you next week for the lift that comes out on Friday. You'll see it from me on Sunday. Bye.